On a sunny day, 77 years ago, 5 Navy planes took off from their base in Florida on a routine training mission known as Flight 19. They were headed to the so-called Bermuda Triangle. Neither the planes nor the crew was ever seen again. And so, a legend was born. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is one of the most mysterious and deadly places in the world, with numerous aircraft and ships disappearing into its mysterious depths. It is located off the southern coast of the United States, and its boundaries are defined by Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico. Over the years, many theories have been presented to try to explain away the unexplainable. However, what lies beneath the Bermuda Triangle has remained shrouded in mystery. Follow me in this video to get to know the theories suggested to explain the mysterious phenomena related to this unique place on Earth. The first mention of the Bermuda Triangle came in 1964 when a writer named Vincent Gaddis catalogued the many catastrophes that had taken place there since the late 1800s in a pulp magazine called Argosy. This magazine was a popular publication in its time, featuring high-interest stories and illustrations. It was one of the earliest and most successful pulp magazines, which were made up of cheap printed paper sheets. Argosy was published weekly from 1882 to 1978, offering a variety of fiction and non-fiction stories, including horror, romance, and science fiction, as well as comic strips and radio plays. It was a popular publication that helped to shape the world of magazines, and it continues to be an important source of inspiration for modern authors and illustrators. But Argosy was not the end. 10 years later, paranormal enthusiast Charles Berlitz released a best-selling book about the Bermuda Triangle, aptly named The Bermuda Triangle, which went on to sell more than 14 million copies. It was Charles Berlitz himself who forwarded the idea that the lost city of Atlantis was somehow responsible for the shipwrecks and plane crashes in the Bermuda Triangle. Since then, others have piled onto this theory, arguing that technology developed by Atlanteans, including crystal energies, is still active on the seafloor, causing mechanical malfunctions in the boats and planes above. The biggest flaw in this theory, of course, is that Atlantis isn't real. There are actually more interesting theories about the Devil's Triangle. We will see what they tell us, but first, here's what we know about the Bermuda Triangle. It is a geographical area located in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean, where a number of aircraft and ships have allegedly disappeared without a trace. The exact boundaries of the Bermuda Triangle are not universally agreed upon. Approximations of the total area range between 500,000 and 1,510,000 square miles, 1.3 and 3.9 million square kilometers. By all approximations, the region has a vaguely triangular shape. The most commonly cited boundaries of the area are from Miami, Florida, to San Juan, Puerto Rico, to Bermuda. Despite its reputation, the Bermuda Triangle does not have particularly high incidence of disappearances. Disappearances do not occur with greater frequency in the Bermuda Triangle than any other comparable region of the Atlantic Ocean. Several reasons have been proposed to explain the mysterious disappearances, including supernatural forces, alien activity, and human error. Here's what we don't know about the Bermuda Triangle. Although there have been numerous stories and theories about the Bermuda Triangle, there is no scientific evidence to suggest that it is a paranormal or supernatural phenomenon, or that it is the cause of the disappearances of the aircraft and ships reported in the region. Unfortunately, the myths and legends of the area have prevented some researchers from studying the area and investigating the potential causes of the disappearances. However, some theories have been proposed over time. One theory suggests that powerful and dangerous magnetic forces lie beneath the surface, causing ships and aircraft to be pulled beneath the waves and never seen again. This theory, however, is supported only by a few short-lived reports from a few survivors. It would require an enormous amount of power and energy to create such a phenomenon. But in scientific terms, a magnetic anomaly could be acting, which refers to fluctuations in the Earth's magnetic field. It's thought that these anomalies, which are caused by changes in the movement of the Earth's magnetic field, can create distortions and confusion, and can even lead to navigational failures. This is a possible cause for the disappearance of ships and planes in the Bermuda Triangle, as these anomalies can confuse compasses and even lead to communication system failures. However, as many authors have noted, there is no evidence the Bermuda Triangle contains any unusual magnetic disturbances. Another suggestion is that the area is home to a large underwater volcano, creating incredibly powerful whirlpools that can suck vessels beneath the waves. We do actually know that, after examining rocks from deep under the island, scientists discover that this quiet volcano formed in a way that is completely unique. In comparison to many of its counterparts at other locations around the world, it appears to have undergone little net subsidence, which is normally associated with loading and cooling. This being so, the subsidence model, which was developed by the naturalist Charles Darwin to explain the evolution of barriers and atolls associated with many oceanic islands, cannot apply to Bermuda. So in a sense, Bermuda's volcanology is, or at least was, special and intriguing. Recent studies, however, show that there are no active volcanoes in the area. The third theory suggests that the mysterious disappearances are caused by some form of supernatural force. Some believe that extraterrestrial activity may be responsible, with alien beings using advanced technology to abduct unsuspecting vessels and their crews. This theory is not a scientific one, but it's always nice to think about all the possible scenarios, even if but fantasy. And what about this? Do you think the Bermuda Triangle could be a portal to another space and time? Something like a wormhole right here on planet Earth. Wormholes are some exotic objects whose existence has been theorized in the framework of general relativity. They have gained a lot of attention as they could potentially be used as shortcuts for interstellar space travel. If a traveler could tunnel through a wormhole, they could theoretically traverse great distances in a short time. That being said, theoretical physicists believe there are many difficulties and obstacles to such a journey, not least the sheer energy requirement to power a vessel through a wormhole. But we all know science is an everlasting process, and if we ever observed an actual wormhole, then our understanding of physics will be ready to change. So who knows, maybe in the future we will be able to detect one. And why not? There could be one right here, on Earth, hiding somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. A pilot by the name of Bruce Gernon thinks this is actually the case. A wormhole can be found in the Devil's Triangle. "I didn't believe in time travel or teleportation until it happened to me," Gernon said. "A fog surrounded my craft and I leaped ahead 100 miles. While this sounds far-fetched, there's no denying that the Bermuda Triangle is one of the most mysterious places on Earth. Perhaps the most intriguing theory of all, and also the most plausible one, is the waterspouts theory. Waterspouts are spinning columns of rising moist air that typically form over warm water. They can be dangerous as tornadoes and can feature wind speeds over 200 kilometers per hour. Some waterspouts form away from thunderstorms and even during relatively fair weather. The waterspouts may be relatively transparent and initially visible only by an unusual pattern they create on the water. This image, taken by Joey Mole, was taken in July 2013 near Tampa Bay, Florida. The Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Florida is the most active area in the world for waterspouts. These powerful waterspouts can move boats and other vessels, and if they cross over the land, they can cause considerable damage. Some people speculate that waterspouts like these are responsible for some of the losses recorded in the Bermuda Triangle. While they cannot be prevented, taking appropriate safety precautions is the best way to protect yourself in the event of a waterspout. While unproven, this theory may be the closest to the truth as the United States Coast Guard and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration have both stated that any mishaps in the area were likely caused by bad weather and inexperienced navigators. Despite the numerous theories, it is highly unlikely that the truth about what lies beneath the Bermuda Triangle will ever be uncovered. It is a place of mystery and intrigue, with countless vessels and people succumbing to its depths. Whether it is caused by powerful oceanic forces, a mysterious and powerful underwater volcano, or some form of alien activity, the truth about what lies beneath the Bermuda Triangle remains a closely guarded secret.
Legendary accounts about unusual disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle have been rife since the 1950s, but its oddities and weird occurrences go back several centuries before that. Some scholars have suggested that The Tempest, a William Shakespeare play, was based on one of the Bermuda shipwrecks that happened in real life. The 17th century English sailing ship, the Sea Venture, which became shipwrecked in Bermuda in 1609, is thought to have inspired the play. That further enhanced the mysterious aura that surrounded the Bermuda Triangle. In 1963, a tanker ship transporting molten sulfur disappeared off the coast of southern Florida. It was the SS Marine Sulphur Queen, and on board there were 39 crew members, all of whom have never been found. At the time of its disappearance, the ill-fated voyager was traveling towards Norfolk from Beaumont, Texas. The wreckage of the tanker has also never surfaced, although a preliminary search for the missing ship yielded only some debris. Several theories came out in the years that followed trying to explain the mystery, and most believe that it was yet another victim of the Bermuda Triangle. 5 Navy bombers transporting 14 men started their journey from an airfield in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in 1945. The vessels were on a mission to conduct test bombing runs, but Flight 19, belonging to the mission's leader, soon suffered from compass malfunctions. They got lost several times and the planes flew around aimlessly to the point of running very low on fuel. All of the 5 planes had to ditch at sea, never to be found. And on that same day, a rescue boat/plane, dubbed the Martin Mariner Flying Boat, that was carrying a 13-man rescue team, also vanished. Following a week-long massive search, no evidence was found to explain what might have happened to the bombers or the rescue boat. The Navy report about the incident detailed that the planes, quote, had flown to Mars. The region where the Bermuda Triangle is said to lay just happens to be one of the Earth's deepest spots. It also harbors some of the world's deepest trenches, and it leaves most questioning what else could be hiding below. A few theorists have bunched together 2 of the world's most famous legends, which is the lost city of Atlantis and the Bermuda Triangle. The belief is that the fabled city once resided under the Bermuda Triangle. It's also a belief that the mystical crystals that powered Atlantis still rest on the seabed, and they transmit enormous waves of energy that have the capability to destroy the vessels above the sea. The area is also known for its unexpected and violent storms that build up quickly and dissipate almost immediately. Paranormal explorers also claim to have found gigantic crystal pyramids beneath the ocean in a triangle formation. They suggested that they could have been responsible for crashing aircrafts and ships. A documented incident that happened on land and is attributed to the Bermuda Triangle happened in 1969 in Bimini, Bahamas. 2 of the great Isaac lighthouse keepers disappeared, never to be found. There is much speculation but no concrete answer. One theory says that alien abduction occurred in that place. The station was discovered abandoned, and it's widely believed that they might have been victims of the mysteries of the Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle is most famous for being the spot where sea and air vessels mysteriously disappear, never to be found. That's what happened to the SS Cotopaxi steamer ship that vanished in 1925. It was bound to Havana, Cuba from Charleston, South Carolina with 30 crew members and ferrying a payload of coal. Sightings of the legendary ghost ship seem to get a new lease of life over the years, with most claiming that the Bermuda Triangle keeps regurgitating it only to swallow it once more. The most recent claim had the SS Cotopaxi allegedly spotted sailing somewhere along the North Atlantic Ocean. Conspiracy theorists claim that the U.S. Navy's Atlantic Undersea Testing and Evaluation Center, AUTEC, has something to do with the disappearances. The facility is located on the Andros Island in the Bahamas, which is smack in the middle of the Bermuda Triangle. The Navy uses the facility as a testing hub for sonar, submarines, and all myriads of weapons. Some even believe that the government is working with extraterrestrials to develop reverse-engineered alien technology and to run secret projects. Theorists go to town with such claims and purport that the government has also been behind the disappearance of the air and water vessels over the years. In 1921, the Carroll A Deering was found run aground with her crew nowhere to be found. It was discovered off Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and it's one of the most written about mysteries related to the Bermuda Triangle. The 5-masted ship had successfully delivered a load of coal to Rio during its last voyage before departing and making a stopover for supplies in Barbados. About 2 months later, the Deering's wreckage was discovered and rescue ships could not approach it for a while because of bad weather. When rescuers finally boarded the schooner, they found it completely abandoned. The crew's personal effects, the ship's log, navigation equipment, and 2 lifeboats were also missing. The vessel couldn't be salvaged and was scuttled using dynamite 2 months after its wreckage was found. The ship had charted a course covering the Bermuda Triangle, and it's often believed that the crew disappeared in that area. In November 1941, the cargo ship USS Proteus, AC-9, disappeared with its load of bauxite as well as the 58 people that were on board. The next month, its sister ship, the USS Nereus, AC-10, also vanished with its 61 passengers, and it was also carrying a load of bauxite and had also departed from St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. Both sea vessels were sister ships to the USS Cyclops. A memorial listing of her crew can be found at the CWGC Halifax Memorial. In 1918, the USS Cyclops sunk, and it soon became the first of many legends connected to the Bermuda Triangle. The 542-foot-long ship served as the U.S. Navy's collier during World War I, and at the time of its sinking, it was bound to Baltimore, Maryland from Bahia, Salvador. It was ferrying 10,000 tons of manganese ore, and the ship had also made an unscheduled stopover at Barbados for additional supplies before disappearing without a trace. At the time, no wreckage was found and there was no distress signal sent from the ship. A total of 306 people, including passengers and crew, lost their lives, making it the largest loss ever documented related to the Bermuda Triangle. In 1941, 2 of the Cyclops' sister ships vanished under similar circumstances and also along the same route. The Bermuda Triangle proponents stand by their theory that the lack of a distress call points out to something supernatural. Just last year in October, a private plane transporting 4 people vanished over the Bermuda Triangle. On board were American entrepreneur Jennifer Blumen, her husband, and their 2 children. They were headed to Titusville, Florida, and the 7th District Coast Guard found some debris like parts of a seat, an air intake plug, and fuel from the ill-fated plane about 15 miles east of Eleuthera, Bahamas. The Coast Guard spokesman, Lieutenant Commander Ryan Kelly, explained that there was no indication of adverse weather that could explain what had happened to the plane. A number of strange occurrences happened in the Bermuda Triangle between 1945 and 1965, including 5 plane crashes and 10 shipwrecks. The Bermuda Triangle is also one of the sites with the highest number of UFO sightings and supposed alien abductions. Theorists have been hard at work over the years trying to explain the mysteries behind the mythical Bermuda Triangle. Naturally, UFOologists strongly believe that the triangle is a portal that aliens use to travel to and from our planet. They also believe that the area functions as a gathering station for aliens, where they conduct research, capture people, aircrafts, and ships. Thanks for watching.